Okay, this is TempleOS 5-minute random code walkthrough, episode number 5. Here we go, Alt B. Where are we? We are in the document editor code. When we okay, so what we're dealing with here is when you have a document in the form of a circular linked list of entries. So a document, let's go ahead and just show what a document, I'm going to read a document and doc equals doc read. Okay, let's go ahead and let's save the command line buffer, Control S, and then we do a directory. It saves it in your home directory. Now there's a document called temp, and it's the saved image of the command line. So we're going to read what was it, temp.txt. Temp.txt. Then we say we have doc entry star doc e equals doc dummy dot next. Okay, so well, doc, we're going to go in a circle, not equal to doc. There's a circular queue, and the first the doc is the head of the queue. If we look at the format of a doc entry base, it's called root. Okay, so root next. I call it a root. I don't like head. I don't know. So I use let's see, percent, let's say percent D. Okay, so the command type is okay, let's see if this works. Okay, so we got a bunch of zeros, 14s. I think 14 is, let's do percent %Z. Percent %Z, if we check percent %Z in the print codes, format strings. Percent %Z is define list, pass subentry first, then define name. So the subentry is that, and then st doc entry, I think. St doc commands. Okay, so this should, so text, so there's the commands. Okay, so now we have a general idea. Let's, so it starts out, there's some carriage return text, prompt, link. Let's go ahead and, if it's a tag, technically we can, so if it's a tag, if doc e flags, you'll notice we're doing this same operation. Doc e de flags and docs eef, if tag %s comma doc docky tag. Let's see what that does. Okay, so we're printing the tags, and the document we got was the command line. And let's see, so you can see text just for okay, so there you can see what the document entries are. Text, carriage return. So let's look at the document. So here's the document, all these entries. This is what we just looked at. So okay, now we know what we're looking at. So if sometimes we want to copy to the clipboard or something like that, and so what we do is we take an entry, and an entry has there's two types of entries. Entries that are just the base, and then extended entries. What I did is I don't normally use all these extended fields. I just have stubby. There's entries that are stubby. Oh, I know what I can do. Watch this. Control T. If it's a %X. If it's a text entry, then it's stubby. msize returns the size of a mallocated node. Okay, so the text entries are 58 bytes. The everything else is D0, which is I don't know, 140, 156. No, I don't know what it is. 200 and. Oh, we can see what it is. It's 208. So the text entries are 58. Carriage returns 58. Everything else is D0. Now, the reason for that is the text entries don't need all this crap. So we save a little bit of room by text and carriage return do not have full entries. They just have stubby entries. So what we have to do is, for all those fields are allocated a string and a malloc, and so if it has an auxiliary string, if it has a define, if it has an HTML, then these all have to we allocate an identical chunk. So that means we allocate it the same size, and then we fill it in. And now binary, okay, bin is for sprites. Those are a little more complicated. There's a number for each binary entry. That's the cur bin num, and there's a separate linked list, a separate queue, a circular queue of binary nodes. These are these go in a queue, next, last, circular linked list. And they include some stuff. Anyway, use count. They have a count for how many times they're used, and if it is not used, it gets deleted. So when you copy on the clipboard, that calls this copy entry, and that makes a new binary entry, and it sticks it in the I think this is the destination document. Anyway, so the binaries are a separate queue from the text. So if we're looking in the document structure, the document structure has a queue for bin entries. And so if it has a binary entry, it makes another entry in the queue. Long story short. Okay.